the beginning, looking at the IQ report, I was almost inclined to argue with the findings. But the more I read it, the more I looked at the rationale, and of course, leaning on my own experiences, I realized that there was a lot of improvement to be made as it regards how I approach emotional intelligence. I am a paramilitary leader of an emergency response organization. I don't have much time for empathy and tact and that kind of thing. I need to get the job done. But I had to understand that in order for the task to be done, the persons doing the task had to feel comfortable. They had to not only be led, but to be understood, to be listened to, and to be cared for. That was something that I never forgot. And as I went through session after session after session, I tried my best to be more open and make improvements along every line that we studied.
One key takeaway for me would definitely be strategic listening. I think before the program, I thought I was a good listener, but having gone through that module and realizing that listening is not just, taking in information, but your body, the cues that you give to the speaker to let them know that you are actually hearing them. That has made, a difference for me. I have been more intentional, I think, about giving people eye contact. Sometimes I get so busy, people come to my office and I'm trying to type while they are talking, and so now I know I need to stop and give them the few minutes that it takes to hear them out, and that has really impacted my practice.
The Emerging Leaders Leadership course, for me, opened my eyes to seeing how you lead. Even as a leader, for many years, I thought that I had it under control. However, going through the program, you understood how you lead. For me, I'm left with above the line, below the line. That's a concept that stayed with me, helping me to understand a little more on how I should lead, become a generative leader, how I should lead people with empathy, being, an active listener. Those are some key things for me that I took away from the leadership course.
The one key takeaway of the program was to note that it is not one size fits all. You need to know your team and ensure that they are comfortable in their respective role. And by doing that, you have to have that communication with each member of your team. And during the program, we did go through the way of active listening, exactly what it is that team member likes about their role or task, and as well what challenges and what can impact their productivity in their respective role. So that was very useful.
The active listening session. And for times, when we had our breakout groups, I spoke to my peer, and even I took that back to the office, to the rest of my team. One of the things I didn't do well was I realized I never listened actively. I would be speaking to one of my officers and I'll be doing other things while they're speaking to me. From doing the leadership course, I realized I need to pay attention, I need to look them in the eye, I need to give them my undivided attention. And so I begin to implement active listening based on what I gleaned from the leadership course, and it's helping me understand, lead with more empathy with the people that I lead.
Sometimes you feel like you're the only one trying not to do the wrong thing. But in listening to the presenters, my colleagues, and examples from all around the region, I realized that if you allow ethics to erode in the environment in which you're in, and you're not doing anything, you're partly responsible. Don't argue, don't complain, continue to do the right thing.
A lot of the activities that we did, I shared when we have our weekly officers meeting. I would share. The active listening, that was one thing that I implemented, making sure that when my officers come and they come with a complaint, whatever I'm doing, they are priority, they are more important. Another thing that I took away is the self-care aspect. Knowing that while I need to put in all these hours of work, I need to take time for myself as well. And so that means leaving the office at due time, not staying there until 8, 9 o'clock in the night, but leaving, a little earlier because my family is also important. So we need to understand that we need to bring balance. So those are things that I'm actually implementing even as we speak.
What I have learned throughout the program has been very useful, especially in the development of my project, which has impacted or will have an impact in my office. And right now I'm working on developing a contingency and business continuity plan for the Cabinet Office. And that has been a work in progress, and it has been impactful because I have been able to involve the whole of the Cabinet team in that project. So I've had the support of the Cabinet Secretary and also the support of my team. And that is very useful. And right now we're in the hurricane season, as you know. And through all the things that the territory has gone through with the COVID-19 and ARMA, I think it would be a worthwhile project because that project will be able for us to ensure that if we have a hurricane or an earthquake, flood, the work of the Cabinet Office will continue. And that as well has been a very beneficial project as well because it's an extension of this program. CARICAD has afforded me through the director of CARICAD has afforded me the opportunity to work with one of their staff members, who is Mr. Franklin Michael, and he is giving us the assistance as well, guiding me throughout this process of developing this plan. And that has been a very worthwhile project for us in the Cabinet Office.
I can't choose one word or phrase to describe the program. Permit me to choose two. In my coaching sessions, the two things that were consistently spoken about is reflection, being reflective as a leader and being intentional. And those are the two things that continue to resonate with me even now. At the end of every day, looking back at how the day went, what went well, what didn't go well, what needs to improve for the next day, and also being intentional. Intentionality in leadership is, for me, a game changer. If you know, you set your intention, this is how I'm going to deal with this situation, this is how this is going to work out, then you sort of have a plan and you see that plan to the end. So those are the two things that have really been most impactful for me.
I can say that the program has been worthwhile and enriching because it has given me tools which I can actively use in my day-to-day management of the office, in my day-to-day personal life as well. So it has not only been beneficial only for me, but also each member of the Cabinet Office team have benefited from this program because I'm able to use what I have learned from the program and implement in my day-to-day at the office.
One word to describe the leadership program would be transformational. It was not just about learning skills, learning new buzzwords, but it actually helped me to transform as being a leader. While I was a leader at different levels, mid-management, and where I am now, I need to lead differently. And so transformational, I'm able to transfer what I gleaned from the course, helping those who I lead to become better and helping them to grow as well.
If I had to describe this program in one word or phrase, I would say relevant. These models we're giving, the instructions, the guidance, you can actually use them right now. They fit the current environment. They're applicable to every one of us at every level. It's not like one of these philosophical models that you have to try to use metaphors to understand and thinking about how it's going to be applied in the future. It's not something that you have to look through a whole philosopher's manual to try to get. It is something that can be used. We can apply all these concepts immediately.